we look at athletes as superhumans and don't feel like they have emotions or go through the same things we do because they are. Athletes are just human beings. So, I mean, depression is real, and it doesn't matter what your job is, what your title, or what you do, or how fast you run. So,
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner, the Jay Lethal to my Jeff Jarrett in AEW, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. Coach, been a busy technical morning for us. How you doing, man?
oh man, much better now, much better.
Yes, indeed. So on today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition, we're going to talk about Carolina moving up to the number one pick. We're going to talk about these quarterback team shuffles and some NFL salary cap moves. So let's get started. Mike, the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears made a trade. Carolina gets the number one overall pick, and the Bears get pick number 9, number 61, a first-round pick in 2024, a second-round pick in 2025, and wide receiver DJ Moore, who they tell me is pretty good.
And a partridge in the pear tree.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Mike, who do you think won the trade?
Carolina. Yeah, I think.
Whoa. Carolina just got the number one pick, and the Bears, they got picks.
Yeah, but
and a wide receiver.
Carolina's closer than the Bears. Bears got a long way to go, bro. Come on, man.
Okay.
Man, they need about 30 picks. This ain't like your Denver Broncos. We one quarterback away. No.
I roll. No. All right. So I want you to decode this for our fans and for myself. Frank Reich, head coach of Carolina, when speaking to Carolina Panthers reporter after agreeing to become a head coach, he outlined the true qualities he believes every productive NFL quarterback should have. He said, and I quote, "It really starts with toughness. A quarterback has to be mentally and physically tough. The other thing that makes a quarterback great is decision-making. They have to be great decision makers. They've got to be accurate passers and a playmaker in critical, crucial situations of a game, red zone, third down, and 2-minute. Quarterback needs to elevate the team. And the last thing, and this is an X factor of intangibles, the leadership qualities that bring players together. There are other leaders on the team, but the quarterback plays a special role, and you got to have that." So, Mike, based on what he said and based on those picks that are available at number one, who do you think they picked based on that?
The kid from Alabama. If you want to talk about toughness, decision making, like he's been in, he's made good decisions. He's been in some of the biggest games that have been. Also, someone that you're talking about that no one's talking about is a kid from Tennessee. I know he got hurt, so that kind of hurts him. But when you talk about mentally tough, like that guy's passing in the last 2 years, he's got like 55 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Like it's some crazy stuff. So those two are tough. I know he won't make it because of the injury, but if I'm thinking of decision making X factor, I have to go with the kid from Alabama.
That's Bryce Young.
Yes.
Young. And Hendon Hooker from Tennessee.
Yeah.
So with that, would you trade down to 2? And get more picks back or get some picks back? Or would you just say, no, I'm good? And
depending on who it is. If who don't want a quarterback, like you don't know who wants a quarterback, you don't know who you're going to trade with. Like if it's somebody who needs a quarterback, I'm definitely not trading. Like you can back it. I mean, Carolina, they're not staying with the quarterback they have. Honestly, if I'm them, I'm trying to get Lamar Jackson.
All right. Well, we'll save that one. So Jacksonville. Well, yeah, we'll come back to that. Jacksonville Jaguars receiver Calvin Ridley said he gambled on football during a period when he was depressed and angry and called it stupid and the worst mistake of his life. Ridley said in a piece posted on the Players Tribune, and they do great work, fans, if you haven't checked it out, that he was not in a good place after leaving the Atlanta Falcons to concentrate on his mental health when he downloaded a gambling app, deposited $1,500, and bet on NBA and NFL games, including the Falcons. I just effed up, period. In a dark moment, I made a stupid mistake. I wasn't trying to cheat the game. That's the thing I want to make clear. At the time, I had been away from the team for about a month. I was just so depressed and angry, and the days were long. Ridley said he lost his joy for football. And as somebody who is, in athletics, Mike, what are your thoughts on his comments? Can you see all of this,
Yes,
or man, what's going on? What do you think, sir?
100%. 100%. You can see all this. You can see all this. We all deal with depression differently, and honestly, emotionally, nobody can really speak to how he felt except him.
hmm
And we look at athletes as superhumans and don't feel like they have emotions or go through the same things we do, because they are. Athletes are just human beings. So, I mean, depression is real, and it doesn't matter what your job is, what your title, or what you do, or how fast you run. So, uh,
Yeah,
I feel bad for him.
yeah, and to add to that, Mike, when I read his comments, I thought about athletic identity, something I studied and wrote about. And fans, for those who don't know, athletic identity refers to the degree of strength and exclusivity to which a person identifies with the athlete role, or the degree to which one devotes special attention to sport relative to other engagements or activities in life. In other words, in my opinion, Calvin Ridley identified himself as a football player, and that was taken away from him through injury, whatever was going on at that time, and he was looking to fill that hole. And one of the things Mike and I talk about, sometimes fun, sometimes serious, is that time when you don't have the structure, don't have the discipline, don't have the support that comes with the season. And I know we're going to do a segment in the next few months saying, "Oh my God, just get us to training camp. Oh my goodness, the season's over. What's going to happen to them?" Because they don't have the things, that they usually have. So we scream in CKA, find the balance. Who are you beyond your sport? And Mike, that Rocky 3 quote when Adrian, was yelling at Rocky and saying, "What do we have, damn it? We don't have the truth. We got cars, we got this." And Rocky just said, "I'm afraid," at the end of it. So any final thoughts before we move on to segment 2?
No, it's just that we see a lot of guys go through this. I don't think the mental health aspect is, like we say, we look at them as superhuman, and there's not enough people being pushed to mental health. We as African Americans don't do it anyway, so it's something that definitely needs to be looked at for our athletes. Some kind of like a debriefing sort of thing as you're going through, as you're coming out of the professional ranks, or you're no longer playing.
Yeah, we definitely have to continue to invest in mental health aspects on all levels of sports. And that is a good time to pause. And when we get back, folks, we'll talk about the quarterback team shuffle and dig a little more deeper into the Lamar situation. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. Let's talk quarterbacks and contracts. But Mike, before we talk Lamar Jackson, let's talk about Daniel Jones. Last week I said I'm not paying him $45 million. Giants agreed with me. They only paid him $40. Daniel Jones signed a 4-year deal worth $160 million. The Giants then used the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley. And now they're trying to fill in some other holes. But Jiminy Crickets, man. Daniel Jones is making $40 million a year. So before we jump to Lamar, get the bag, I know, but is Daniel Jones, you're worth what somebody's going to pay you. But come on, man. $40 million for that dude.
Well, you got to secure him, and then you start building around him. Like now, you've made the investment in him, which shows, like receivers or anybody else you might try to get that. Hey, we paid him, so he's going to be here. So this is what we're looking to do. So now you're looking to get some security, or you trying to look and see. Okay, they're making the decision to improve. So yeah, I want to be here. I'll stay here because they seem to be serious about what's going on. Like that's where Baltimore is lacking.
Yes. So let's get this Baltimore thing going here. So advice to people. People tell you how they feel about you every day through their actions, not their words, and you just have to listen. The Baltimore Ravens placed the non-exclusive franchise tag on Lamar Jackson, which is what I would have done if I'm the Baltimore Ravens. Instead of paying him 40, I get to pay him 32. Now that 32 is guaranteed, but yeah, that's kind of how I feel about you. Baltimore and Jackson, who doesn't have an agent, is representing himself and has been unable to reach a long-term deal. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't represent yourself, but a fool that has himself for a client, it's not going to do a good job. And what I think, Mike, before I let you respond, is we're negotiating now. And the Ravens are saying to Lamar things he doesn't like to hear. This is my guess. And instead of looking at it from the business standpoint, he's kind of in his feelings about it and is not making good business decisions, similar to Kirk Cousins and some of the other quarterbacks who took the short-term route to get the long-term money.
Kirk got paid.
Okay. And he did it through this way. Okay, I'm going to take the franchise. I'm going to play over it. I'm going to take the franchise and play over it because it's still a raise, and it's a significant raise. And then I don't owe you nothing. So, Mike, what are your thoughts on Jackson and the Ravens? And we'll go a little deeper, but I wanted to get your initial thoughts.
If I'm his father, I'm advising him, or his parent, or anybody, I'm advising him to just sit it out. Even if they tag him and he starts plays, I'm not going to play. You can fire me, you can do whatever, because this is the ultimate in disrespect. You can't look at my stats and what I've done for your organization and tell me I don't deserve better treatment. How can we be $100 million off?
Well,
$100 million off.
I have said from the start of the show, I think quarterback is overvalued in terms of how much of a financial investment that they put in it. And if I'm the Ravens, I'm going to take the Ravens side on this piece. I'm still trying not to be hamstrung with my contract. But as you said very eloquently, Jackson is just the third quarterback in the history of the league to win MVP and then get the franchise tag. Steve Young, Peyton Manning are the other. So that's some good company to hang out in. Under the franchise tag, Ravens and Jackson have until July 17th to work out a long-term deal. If an agreement is not reached, a new deal can't be signed until after the season. Baltimore has reached multi-year deals with 5 of the 7 players who've been previously franchised. So don't tell me that it can't be done. If Jackson doesn't sign the franchise tag tender, which would guarantee his salary for the season, he is technically not under contract and can't be fined for missing mandatory minicamp in June or training camp in the summer. Jackson could return before the season opener in September and earn his entire salary. And I think people need to understand that. So he's not doing anything wrong under contract because he's not under contract. Another option for Jackson is what you mentioned, is holding out for the entire season. But there's been only one player in the past 25 years to sit out a full season, and that was Le'Veon Bell. And how did that work out for him? If Jackson doesn't play for Baltimore next season, the Ravens can just put the franchise tag on him again and keep him from becoming a free agent in 2024. So they can just tag on a year. The Ravens have acknowledged that it's been a tough negotiation, in part because Jackson doesn't have an agent. But in January, Baltimore signed Roquan Smith to a 5-year, $100 million deal, and he doesn't have an agent.
Right. The excuses are plentiful.
Jackson's passing and durability has come under scrutiny over the past 2 seasons. He's totaled 33 touchdowns and 20 interceptions, and he's missed 11 games, including a playoff loss. So
it's all excuses. Quarterbacks get hurt. Name one that hasn't. Name one that hasn't. I don't care if it's in the pocket, out the pocket. Like, this is a propaganda. That's all it is. They talk about him getting hurt. Every quarterback get hurt. What's it do with the Rams? Right?
Well, Matthew Stafford. You know they're trying to trade him.
All right, but did he get hurt? Who did he replace? Think about this.
I don't know, man. San Francisco's a better example of the quarterbacks getting hurt because they were down to you, me,
Jimmy
and he.
Garoppolo. Like, how many of them got hurt?
Yeah,
right. Like,
all 3 got hurt. So
quarterbacks get hurt. That's what happens. Dakota Prescott down in Dallas, didn't he get hurt?
Yes, he did.
Carson Wentz, didn't he get hurt?
Yes, he did.
All right, the dude that used to be with the Colts who quit before they even left the field. What was his name?
Andrew Luck didn't quit.
Andrew Luck.
Did
he not?
He quit in the offseason.
No, he quit. No, he quit in the season. Like, he was leaving the stadium. He was leaving the field, and they was yelling. Somebody released it. You ain't know that story?
Oh man,
they released it. He was returned as he was walking off the field, and that's when they started yelling, and it was going bad.
Oh man!
But did he get hurt?
Often.
Did Drew Brees get hurt?
Often, yes.
So why are we like? That's the thing. We're putting all these stipulations and we're pushing out. And I didn't appreciate Baltimore putting out this story that they did, because Football Focus shows that Lamar's passing percentage has increased every year. But they're saying it's because he has a low passing percentage. The man ain't had a number 1 receiver. I mean, shit, I could be the number 1 receiver.
Yes.
No offense. You know what I mean? Other than Bateman.
Fair criticism. And I can't even tell you who his tight end is. I can't tell you. And you've taught me the tight end is
Mark Andrews. But then he got hurt. Then they had 2 linemen that was hurt this season, right tackle and left tackle. Like, they bounced the linemen around. So, but they're putting all that on him. And I know it all falls to him because he's a quarterback. But I'm really disgusted the way that Baltimore has handled this as an organization.
Yes.
And I used to have the utmost respect. I forgot his name. But I used to have
Ozzie Newsome.
I used to have the utmost respect for Ozzie Newsome. But this, being a part of this, and even him speaking out about it at the combine, like, that was very disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
Well, I blame Cleveland for that dumb contract for Deshaun Watson.
But I mean, they're
trying to walk back.
But they did it on purpose. That's part of why they paid him, to make it tough on everybody else.
Wow.
Right?
All right.
Now you gotta make decisions.
And speaking of making decisions, good segue, sir. The New York Jets have had conversations with Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Now he's holding 2 teams hostage.
The Jets flew out to the West Coast to spend some time with them. So let me tell you about the contract again, Mike. Rodgers is under contract through 2024 for $108.8 million. Technically, the contract signed last March runs through 2026, but you know how the NFL contracts work. It's full of crap. So the Packers if they did trade him, would get hit with a $40.3 million debt charge, nearly $9 million more if if he was staying on the roster. All right. Because Rodgers' bonus money is prorated, he wouldn't hurt the Jets cap. He would count $15.8 million in 2023, $32.5 million in 2024. And hey, that's cap friendly in this day and age. But Mike, what about Zach, man? If I'm Zach Wilson, I was drafted number 2 overall, and they're courting Aaron Rodgers. How should I feel about that? Feel free to share your comments as you protest on mute. So fans,
it's crazy, man. It's bad. You know how I feel about this guy, the prima donna, man. This guy ain't won. He won the same amount of Super Bowls as Trent Dilfer,
yes,
and everybody think he God. Like Trent Dilfer got a Super Bowl too now, and he didn't go through all this. This drama, man. This is soap opera. This dude ought to be in WWE with my son. Like, this is crazy. It is. And again, I fault the owners. The owners are the ones going through this. He fits the prototype of what they want to see. He's the quarterback. He's the face of the organization. Pretty boy, California dream, all that stuff. Not the Lamar Jackson, but him. So, and yes, he won a Super Bowl. But how long do we got to play this game with this guy? Like how?
And
long?
he's 39. He's 39 at the end.
Come on, he's not Tom Brady. Let's be honest. He's not TB12. He call himself AR, whatever. Man, please. You ain't TB12. You're not TB12. Win a couple more championships, and then you can do all this song and dance.
Yeah.
But like children, people only get away with what you let them. So the Green Bay started this a long time ago. I'd have been sending packs.
Yeah, it's their fault, man. So last 2, and they're quick hitters because we ain't spending no extra time on them. Tua got his 5th year with the Dolphins. Does it matter?
Is he going to play?
He is scheduled to play. I'm thinking he's going to play.
Man. That's why everybody thought that Miami was going to go for Lamar.
And Saints, they. I always get them. This is Derek Carr, right? Because Davis, the brother. I always get him messed up. It's Derek Carr.
Next segment.
Is it going to matter? And what happens to crab legs? Maybe the Ravens can get crab legs for a cheaper cost and then send Lamar packing. What do you think?
I don't know which one to answer first. First of all, the question is, as I read the show notes, does it matter? You can't even remember the man's name. Hell no, it don't matter. You can't even remember his name. And then you throw crab legs in?
He's free. He's available.
There's a reason. I'll tell you, it's the reason why he's free. He's available. Nah, man.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I like Carr for his professionalism. I know he got a strong arm. I don't think he's ever had this consistent coaching and a consistent cast to allow him to be good. I mean, Tua, if you see, he got receivers, so they had a better season. It's just that he was, the injury and the concussions this year slowed him tremendously. But good luck with Carr, but it's still the Saints. It's the Saints.
All right. Yeah, let's get
Arthur
out of
Blank,
here.
right?
Arthur Blank is Falcon.
Oh, my bad.
Arthur Blank is
It don't matter.
Hey, Lamar, you're kind of stuck, man. You might have to do the JOB on the PPV. But we'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete, academic, and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Eye Coaches Podcast in segment 3. Man, don't let us be owners because I'm cheap and Mike doesn't care. That just we'd win games though, I can tell you that.
Yeah, we would definitely win.
All right, let's get to some of the salary cap moves. Arizona. So, Mike, you don't like distractions. It's well documented. Let me tell you about the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals released wide receiver Chosen Robbie Anderson last week,
That was solid.
marking the end of his brief career in Arizona. The Cardinals, if you remember, traded for Anderson on October 17th from the Carolina Panthers, but he didn't reach the same level of productivity in Arizona as he did in Carolina. So chosen Robbie Anderson is 29. He had 7 catches on 17 targets for 76 yards and no touchdowns with Arizona. He was traded after he had 13 catches on 27 targets for 206 yards with Carolina. The Panthers traded him after he was kicked out of a game by interim coach Steve Wilks following a sideline argument with his position coach. By cutting him, Arizona will save $12 million in cap space. Anderson posted on Instagram last month that he legally changed his name to Chosen. That change came after he legally changed the spelling of his first name from Robbie, Robby, to Robbie last year. He signed with the Panthers as a free agent in 2020, posted the only 1,000-yard season of his career, finishing with 1,096. He had 161 catches for 1,821 yards and 9 touchdowns in 39 games with Carolina. Mike, are you on the hunt? If you're another team for chosen Robbie Anderson to join your organization,
I'd have cut him as soon as he changed his name to Chosen. You know, I'm choosing to let your ass go. That's what you've been chosen. You've been chosen for unemployment. That's what you've been chosen for.
All right. Tampa Bay. Hey, Todd. Rent, don't own. Please follow our advice. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster purge continued last week with the team releasing starting left tackle Donovan Smith. Hey, good luck finding a quarterback to come in when you release the starting left tackle. The Bucs entered the offseason $55 million over the cap, $35 million of it going towards recently retired quarterback Tom Brady. Hey, thanks TB12 for nothing.
I got a ring out of it. Stop.
$35 million.
So what? He made that when the championship, when they won the Super Bowl, the owners made that back. That $35 million. That's a drop in the bucket.
Smith had a $17.9 million cap hit, the 5th highest of any current player. And Smith's release opens up a whopping $9.95 million of cap space and also creates $7.9 million in dead money. The Bucs are also expected to release tight end Cameron Brate and running back Leonard Fournette, who told the Tampa Bay Times he requested his release. Mm-hmm. My man's not going to have a good season, and they're going to fire him, and it's not his fault. He's got nothing. And that's the job we get.
GTB, baby. You know our rule, GTB.
Todd Bowles,
GTB. What's GTB?
Get the bag, man.
All right, man. Let's go.
Jiminy Crickets. They did him wrong, man. Man, don't fire him. Give him a whole year. Give him 2. Anyway.
I give him 4 games tops.
They got nothing, man. All right, the Chargers.
Maybe they should go for Lamar.
Remember they
you see I'm trying to get Lamar out of Baltimore, don't you, man? I feel bad.
But no left tackle. Man, no left tackle.
So he should feel
God.
So he should feel familiar. Because he ain't had one in Baltimore. That's my point. Come on, man. Don't use that. They throw that stuff around when they want to.
The weather's better.
And they use it. They use the excuses when they want to use it, and it benefits them. You know how it is, man.
All right. The LA Chargers have solved their salary cap woes without having to release anybody half decent. Chargers went in the offseason $20.5 million over the cap, causing uncertainty. But the Bolts restructured the contracts of Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen still in the league? And Mike Williams. Okay. So now they have $40.3 million in salary cap space. They're not expected to retain starting save for Nasir Adderley or linebacker Drew Tranquill, both of them scheduled for free agent. Here goes. Next year, Justin Herbert is on the clock for a new deal. So that's another reason why I don't like quarterback. That guy is about to hurt his own team and hurt his own self.
Did he get hurt?
Nah, I think he did this year.
Quarterbacks get hurt. That's part of the position. Ain't one ever played a whole and never got hurt his whole career unless he was a backup and never got on the field.
All right, so the Chargers players now because they got money.
Yeah, they playing for Lamar.
No, they got the
bring Lamar at $40 million.
Go Justin.
Trade Herbert. I'm trying to fit Lamar in everywhere.
Everywhere. So we're going to close off with two stories on the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins plan to release quarterback Byron Jones this coming week, allowing him to enter free agency. Jones will be designated post-June 1 cut, which will save the team $13.6 million. He will represent approximately a $10 million cap hit. Jones' release is critical towards creating salary cap space because the team is currently $17.7 million over the cap. The move comes 3 years into an $82.5 million contract that Jones signed in 2020. He missed the entire 2022 season after going Achilles surgery.
Podcast is sponsored
and last
by
month
the CKA
he tweeted
Save Project.
He can't run
the
or
CKA
jump
Save Project is an industry leader in providing
career.
student athlete
So
academic and athletic support. From assessing student athletes' academic and athletic skills to measuring and monitoring student athlete academic progress to improving student athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student athletes from middle school through college.
The next one
For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org
tell me if this is a
or
big deal,
schedule
Mike.
a free consultation
Miami
with Dr.
Dolphins
Keith
wide
Adams
receiver
by
Tyreek Hill
emailing
showed off his what is called transcendent speed by winning the 60-meter sprint at the USA Track and Fields Masters Indoor Championship. Mike, I was actually at the New Balance Indoor Track Championships with my wife. Coaching her tail off. Wonderful facility in Boston. The facility was great, but Boston's not my city, but I'll leave that. Anyway, Tyreek Hill is believed to be the fastest player in the NFL. He donned a speed suit from his high school, Coffee High School, or maybe Coffee, I don't know. And he won the race in 6.7 seconds. He's a 4-time All-Pro, and he was a track star in high school, winning 2 state championships. Hey, football players, you can play more than one sport. Bigger, faster, stronger is something they put on a T-shirt. He was named an All-American by the USA Today in 2012. He last ran for Oklahoma State in 2014. His time of 6.7 is 0.4 of a second off world record pace of 6.34, set by Christian Coleman, who I actually know because my wife's track coach. I've heard that name often. So is this a big deal that he's running track in the offseason?
I mean, he's staying in shape, isn't he? He's training. He's going to be in shape when he comes in.
That boy's fast.
Yeah, I mean, all he's doing is, he's running. He would be doing, at least this is a little more constructive, I would say. He's really got to train. In order to compete, you have to pass urinalysis and things like that most athletes get in trouble in the off season. They know exactly when to turn it on, when to turn it off.
Did you actually see the race?
Yeah, I did later. Yeah, I didn't see it live.
Who was he running against?
Me.
No, you can't get embarrassed like that.
Me. I was.
I just stay home.
I was in the third lane. I don't know if you saw me.
May as well have been. All right. So
the minute I saw he was, and I looked at the name. I was like, "What the flight? What? Who?" Oh man, I got hamstrings.
Remember that Martin episode when they played the women's national team, taking injuries out of it? Like, I can't run.
I'd have pulled up like half them dudes playing the dream team.
Oh.
I was grabbing my shoulder.
All right, fans. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care. Hey, Packers, trade Aaron Rodgers, and Ravens, man, get that boy his money. We'll see you next time.
Trade the two of them back each other. That's what you do.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.